And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pit Pass Network ARCA series here on the Elite Racing Network. My name's Robert Hill Jr. going solo once again here tonight from Charlotte for tonight's 90-lap event. 4 sets of tires up for grabs for these drivers here tonight as we get set to wrap up the regular season in the 2024B Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Let's take a look at the starting grid. It's Corey Abbott on the pole, and to his outside, Michael Hosick in the 24. Leighton Norgard in row 2. Danny Martinez to his outside. Thomas Coonan and Jake Connor make up row number 3. Hunter Smith and Jaden Racimus, row 4. Jeff Green, Jess Story in row 5. That rounds out your top 10 with David Westergreen and Dominic Wright in row 6. Row 7 is Dustin Doerr and Darren Staff with Gavin Higgins and Mike DeWalt behind them. Kyle Hanshaw, Brenton Jones make up row number 9. Row 10, Trey Holmes and Shay Mitchell. Connor Thompson, Ray Bracey make up row number 11. Row 12, David Woods and Andrew Hardcastle. Mark Revilis and Dave Carpenter in row 13. Row 14, Austin and Abnett and Jeff Ryan. Dave Huckleberry and Dustin Haynes going to make up row 15. Mitch Javier and Michael Menchaca, row 16. Row 17, Brian Carrington and Frank Foti, with Tommy Ryan rounding out the field. As we get set to pull off from the grid, the field is starting to roll. And of course, as mentioned, Corey Abbott going to be on the pole for this one of the drivers that has locked his way into the 2024B Pit Pass Network ARCA Series playoffs. Tonight, folks, as well, we will have a couple of special announcements, including that of the first race in the upcoming 2025A season, which will kick off a little bit earlier than anticipated. And we just might be able to announce the 2025A presenting series sponsor and new title for the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. As we get sent to go green here this upcoming time by Corey Abbott, Michael Hosick once again going to be in control of the field as they work their way off of turn number 4. This time expect Fred, the pace car driver, to make that sharp left-hand turn down to the pits, and he does as the field works their way into the Geico restart zone. Abbott, Hosick, Norgard, and Martinez coming to the green flag, and we are green. ARCA Racing here at Charlotte. Abbott out to the early lead as Norgard, now Coonan to the inside of Hosick for third. Thomas Coonan shot out of a rocket here on the start of this one, working his way up through the field rather rapidly as we see Jay Connor falling back. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle there. You see the 5 of David Westergreen going to get collected in that one. Jay Connor going to be involved. Daniel Martinez also going to go around. Somehow still piling into this one is the likes of Brian Carrington and Trey Holmes, it looks like. So we'll take a look and see what just happened to put us under caution here very early on. And it does involve David Westergreen. Hosick gets into the outside wall here down the back straightaway. We'll see if this plays any effect. Oh, yes, it does. So Michael Hosick going to get checked up. That is going to stack up the likes of Daniel Martinez behind him. Just take a look here from our drone camera as we'll see if we can get a better angle of this one. Martinez going to get shot out of a cannon there. That's the 38 of Jeff Green going to get collected. This is how Westergreen goes for a ride. Then we're going to see a couple more guys get involved. I believe Trey Holmes might get a piece of this one. Looks like Bojo might have already been in the outside wall. A couple guys still piling into the back. It showed that Brian Carrington got into it, but looks like he was able to slow it down rather nicely. Jay Connor, Dominic Wright was involved in this one as well. One of the many Corey Abbott Motorsports cars here in this incident. We'll take a look at how he was collected watching that 73. He's just going to be an innocent bystander down there on the bottom, gets piled into the wreck, and the rest is history there for Dominic Wright. He's going to be on pit road, and pit road is absolutely busy. Tommy Ryan down there, Dan Martinez, Jeff Ryan, Jay Connor, Jeff Story, David Westergreen, Dominic Wright, Ray Bracey. Taking a look at the Bojo machine, lots of front end damage for him. Andrew Hardcastle on pit road, and Jeff Green, another car down there as well. So early calamity for a lot of these guys, which is really unfortunate because this race definitely does have potential to be one of those that puts on a good show here tonight. Just taking a quick gander through, let's go ahead and see who we can have a quick word with, and that will be the 16th place driver, Brent Jones. Hey, Brent Jones, it's Robert up in the booth. You get a copy, my friend? Currently holding on to that 16th position. What did you see out of that front windshield of that 89 machine when it seemed like everyone just piled into the back of the likes of Dan Martinez and David Westergreen?
Just a shift on the start and jacked up a good chunk of the field, which I'll apologize for, but I saw what happened, and I'm just calling it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a car flipping somewhere.
Definitely unfortunate there when quite a few guys getting collected in that one. Brings out the first caution. But Brent, what's your outlook for this race here tonight? Currently sitting 16th. Do you think you might have something to maybe get up there and battle it out for the win, or a top 5 at least?
We're just out here to have fun, man. We're not out here for points. We're just out here to have fun. We're chasing bucks out here.
And fun is all that matters. Brent, who gets it done for the 89 machine each and every week that you're out here?
We have Luis Gonzalez Moray on board on Cup and all of our cars. We also have shout out to Abbott Motorsports. Shout out to my dad, who's recuperating from a recent procedure. Recuperating from a recent procedure.
Well, definitely wishing him all the best here, Brent. Wishing you the best in in the start of this one, really. So we'll get you back down there to your team. Best of luck.
Cheers.
As we get set to go green, once again, Corey Abbott, a Leighton Norgard, row 1, Thomas Coonan, Hunter Smith in row number 2. As we're coming back to the green flag, green flag's back out. We're back underway here on lap number 5. Corey Abbott out to the early jump. He's going to start to pull away just a little bit there from the Leighton Norgard. Thomas Coonan, Hunter Smith, Dustin Dewar, all trying to close in on that fight as well. Jaden Racimus right back there in that 6th spot. Michael Hosick holding on to 7th as now Coonan takes a look down to the inside of a Leighton Norgard. That's going to be your battle for the 2nd spot as these drivers work their way around the speedway off of turn number 4 that time. It's going to be Coonan in the 3rd spot, falls back just a bit. Hunter Smith holding on to 4th as looks like we've got an issue for Shea Mitchell. He's going to pull it into the infield and back to his pit box as we watch side-by-side battle here with Darren Staff and Michael Hosick. Looks like we do have David Westergreen hanging out in the infield care center. Let's see if we can get a quick word with him. Hey, David, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Unfortunate start to that one for you. Why don't you walk us through what happened?
Somebody hit the wall in front of me, and I tried to hit the gas pedal and go down to the bottom and miss it, and somebody hooked me in the right rear and put me head on the fence. You know, I hate it for the Lake Norman guys. You know, we had a playoff level car. I just ended up missing a couple of races due to schedule, and obviously this is not helpful. But I'll be at Talladega and go have some fun, and then I'll probably back out of this. But this was a fun series. I'll hopefully be back next year. It's just been disappointing. You know what I mean?
Definitely do hope to see you back next season. It's going to be an exciting schedule, a bit of this, bit of that, kind of all over the place. But like you said, rough luck here in that hunt for a playoff position. But is night over for the 5 machine?
Yeah. I mean, I did like 10 minutes of damage or something. there's no hope. So we needed to finish in the top 5 and have some bad luck for somebody else, and it didn't go that way. What are you gonna do? But yeah, hopefully Ray gets back in it. He got some damage there on the start, but and hopefully the rest of the Lake Norman guys like Austin can get in there and see what they can do. But it was gonna be fun. It was gonna be a fun race. I thought there was some tire wear. These guys are gonna have to work hard with that track changing as the sun goes down. And I was just ready to run the bottom, keep it cool. Didn't work out.
Unfortunately, did not work out here tonight. We'll give you the floor here. Any shout-outs you want to give, sponsors you want to thank for putting the 5 machine on the racetrack?
Yeah, just Tyler Fody and the Lake Norman guys, like Frank and Austin, Mitch and Dylan. And then we're bringing South Shore Racing to Elite, so I might be in that car next year. We'll see, but it's going to be fun. Ray's out there running the Bracy and the 7 car, so keep an eye on him for us, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for joining us, David, and hope to see you back better off at Talladega, maybe on the podium.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's the goal. Go out here and win a race.
Absolutely. Have yourself a good night, buddy.
You too, buddy.
That was David Westergreen, driver of the number 5 machine. Unfortunate incident for him, and that's his driver right there, Bojo Bracy Ray, in the number 7 machine. But back up front, taking a look at the battle for the top spot. Leighton Norgard down to the inside. Corey Abbott going to fall back to 2nd. That's Thomas Coonan holding on to the 3rd position as the drivers come by the start-finish line now. Norgard, Abbott, Coonan, Smith, and Higgins. Gavin Higgins, winner a couple weeks ago, currently holding on to the 5th spot, up 10 positions from where he started this one here tonight, as we see Thomas Coonan diving down to the inside of Corey Abbott. That's the battle for the 2nd spot. Coonan, one of those guys that's trying to work his way into a playoff spot here tonight, driving for Mountain Man Motorsports, of course, that being the team that I own. But this guy has shown some great pace this season. Luck just has not been on his side whatsoever. If there was an award for the unluckiest driver, it very well could go to Thomas Coonan in that number 05 Rev Limit FTN machine. Shout out to David Kreutz at FTN as well. David, a good buddy of both myself and Thomas Coonan, and on board the 05 here tonight. Also want to give a shout out here to Mike DeWalt hanging out with us this evening. See him sometimes on the Friday night over at the Gears Racing League. I had an opportunity to dip my toes into that league last year, picked up a win, and then my schedule has not allowed me to come back. I don't want to be one of those guys that wins and leaves, because, I mean, for me, a win is a win, and I don't get many of those. But nonetheless, still very appreciative of Mike DeWalt for joining us here this evening. Hope to see him around Elite for a long time as Thomas Coonan goes to the inside of a Leighton Norgard. Battle for the top spot. It's Norgard on the high side, Coonan on the bottom. Abbott and Smith closing in just behind them as well as they get back to nose to tail down the back straightaway. Coonan closes up to the rear end of the Tanks.GG, number 12 for Abbott Motorsports. That's a Leighton Norgard leading the way here on lap number 15. Laps quickly ticking off in this one, as we'll take a look at a couple big movers here so far as well in just a moment. Once this battle for the lead does calm down, a bit of a bumper there, Coonan to the back of Norgard, as he's going to dive down to the inside, gets the nose, now gets the quarter panel, and up to the door as they're side by side for that top spot. It's Norgard on top as Coonan clears with a bit of a slider. He's going to take that top spot. New leader, Thomas Coonan. Taking a look at Austin and Abnett. This is one of the rookies this season, up 14 spots, driving for Lake Norman Motorsports. He just got by Michael Hosick and currently holding on to position number 13. So started 27th, now finds himself up in 13th. Also want to shout out this guy right here, the 52, the Purdue machine of David Huckleberry. Dave does a lot for us here at the Elite Racing Network. One of those guys that you don't really get to see a ton unless you tune into these very rare broadcasts of the Pit Pass Network ARCA series this season. But great to see Dave out here and learning the craft that he puts a lot of time into making look real good on these ERN broadcasts of the Cup and Truck Series and all the graphics you see each and every night that ERN is live. Speaking of broadcasts, I can formally announce that next season, 2025A, this series, we'll announce the name of it a little bit later on, will be broadcast full-time once again. So we will have flag-to-flag coverage from the drop of the green flag at the beginning of the season to that championship checkered flag at the end of 2025A. Bit of door-to-door contact there. Austin and Abnett. Michael Hossack is Jess Story. Gonna sneak through the middle, 3 wide there. It's Abnett on the bottom. Story in the middle. Trey Holmes following suit just behind him. And hey, he thought he was done, but he is not. Here comes Dave Westergreen back out onto the racetrack. Good to see him out here. You'll hear him tomorrow night on the Belly Up Sports Cup Series broadcast at Watkins Glen. That's going to be quite the show there. Zach Evans, David Westergreen, and Dave Huckleberry will have all the action. I'll be the guy popping messages up on the screen as race control throughout the evening as well. And from what I gather, and I may be incorrect on this one, but there is a series in Elite, I believe it's the Truck Series, looking for a presenting sponsor next season. If that interests you, reach out to Chad Frankenfield, and he would be more than happy to work with you to put some sort of a package together and get your business on each and every Sunday night on the Elite Racing Network. As we watch the battle now for second, Hunter Smith going to get by a late Norgard. Norgard going to fall back to third. Smith there in second. Both drivers chasing down Thomas Coonan and trying to hold off Corey Abbott, who holds on to position number 4. Gavin Higgins there in 5th. Connor Thompson up 15 spots to the 6th position, doing a nice job. Mike DeWalt in 7th. Darren Staff, the up-and-coming driver, I think he's only like 16 or something, currently holding on to 8th ahead of another young driver in Jaden Racimus, and one of the old boys in Kyle Hanshaw and Dusty Doer right there in 10th and 11th just behind them. Shout out as well to David Woods. Just noticed him there in the 98 machine. David currently holding on to the 12th spot, up 11 positions. So nice slow and steady gain there for David Woods, as he's having one of his best performances so far in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. As up front, it looks like Hunter Smith closing that gap just a little bit. See if we can go on board here with Hunter Smith as he tries to close the gap up to the Thomas Coonan machine. Riding on board with the 54 of Hunter Smith. Closing in on the back of the Rev Limit Workshop 05. Thomas Coonan up to the high side as we'll back out of that. We'll go back to the battle. Smith on the inside, Coonan on the high side. A 10th of a second separating them, and I think it might be even less than that, as these two very, very close together. As you see them come down the back straightaway, we'll take a look at a couple other battles throughout the field. We're going to jump back to this one. We've touched base on it a couple times. Trey Holmes, Kyle Hanshaw, Darren Staff, Dustin Doer, David Woods all together up here. Unfortunately, David Westergreen going to take it back to pit road. So unfortunately, handling issues, I do believe, still marring that number 5 machine. We'll see him back at Talladega coming up next week. Another battle towards the rear of the field. It's Dan Martinez and Ray Bracey, two guys that really kind of took a beating in the early race incident that caused yellow number 1 of the day, the first and only yellow so far. Both of these guys back in 25th and 26th, respectively, and currently trying to climb up through the field. As speaking of climbing, Leighton Norgard has climbed to the outside lane. Hunter Smith down on the inside as they're trying to chase down Thomas Coonan once again. Checking out the current chat over here. Shout out Brendan Kennedy, Ethan Burrell, Justin Wadsworth, and Shay Mitchell all hanging out with us down there. Those are the only ones that have talked so far. If you haven't talked, well, take the tape off, get to talking. Let's have some chats over there on YouTube as we see side by side. It's Brenton D, Brent Jones down on the inside. David Woods up there. Dave Carpenter. This guy is the age of half the field combined, but still whooping their butts here tonight. Currently running in that 14th position is Dave Carpenter. As we see Dave Wood and Jay Connor battling it out. Actually, Connor, unfortunately, a lap down, but doing a nice job nonetheless as we jump back up here. Leighton Norgard, Hunter Smith duking it out. Some great battles for these top spots. Under the next caution period, if we do get one, we will have a special announcement to make, something that a lot of people have been waiting for. Drop some likes on the YouTube stream if you want to hear who will be presenting the 2025A series. We can't call it ARCA no more because it's not going to be the ARCA series next season. There's a hint. Still the ARCA car, just not the ARCA series. Thomas Coonan, Leighton Norgard, Hunter Smith, Corey Abbott. Top four all under a blanket. It's a big old blanket, but a blanket nonetheless, as they're all currently running together up towards the front of the field. Corey Abbott, the fourth of those cars, as the Leighton Norgard closes in on the back of Thomas Coonan. Coonan, the Rev Limit Workshop 05 FTN, that's Fireball Talks NASCAR 05 machine leading the way. Look at those eyes. A Leighton Norgard just peering forward, looking for any opportunity to get by Thomas Coonan. Coonan, eyes focused forward, not looking back. Those yellow gloves, they're wiggling, they're jiggling like some darn jello. Oh no. And there's everybody else. And there's a caution displayed on the field. Dave Carpenter going to be involved in that one. Austin and Abnett. David Woods just mentioned the run he was having, and the run has run out for David Woods. We'll take a look at the replay and see what happened. You see Woods go down to the inside. Oh, he gets into Jay Connor. There's what happened. David Woods into the back of Jay Connor. Let's jump up to one of our drones here. Watch the 98 of David Woods, gets into the back of Connor, slides up. That's Darren Staff that's going to get a piece of that one. Big hit there for David Woods. Brent Jones gets involved. He's going to take a huge piece of this one. Austin and Abnett going to be collected in that one. I believe that's Jeff Ryan just behind him. Dave Carpenter going to be involved. Or is that Tommy Ryan? No, it is Tommy Ryan. Frank Foti, I believe, also. Yeah, Frank going to get collected in this one. A lot of guys getting involved. Andrew Hardcastle going to sneak through, but a lot of guys here picking up some relatively heavy damage. Going to have to come down pit road and get it fixed, but the only driver to stay out, Mitchell Javier, is going to stay out. He'll inherit the race lead, but we'll head to pit road and see who will win the battle off of pit road here momentarily. And it looks to be Thomas Coonan winning the battle off pit road. Leighton Norgard second. Hunter Smith, Corey Abbott, Gavin Higgins. Big winner here on pit road. Trey Holmes up into the top 10, up 12 spots. Started 19th, currently 7th. Mike DeWalt, Connor Thompson, and the kid, Jaden Racimas, round out the top 10. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a special announcement about our 2025A season here on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Flames will burn and sparks will fly at the NHRA Midwest Nationals, September 27th through 29th at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Kickoff race weekend in style with 2 qualifying sessions in one day, plus the can't-miss show of Nitro Under the Lights on Friday, September 27th. Get tickets at WWTRaceway.com with kids 12 and under free and general admission. The NHRA Midwest Nationals, September 27th through 29th at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
And we're back here on the Elite Racing Network. And folks, we hinted at this for a little while. We're excited to announce our 2025 A Series title sponsor is going to be, well, we'll tell you in just a second here. Here it is, our 2025 A new series title, presented by Rev Limit Workshop. It's the Rev Limit Workshop Development Series, presented by Pit Pass Network. We're going to be kicking this one off in early November with an exhibition race, typical, or not typical, but reminiscent of the old Battle at the Beach of Daytona. It's going to be the ARCA cars around the Charlotte Legends Oval. That one's going to be open to all Elite Racing League members. They're going to be able to take part in that exhibition race. We'll have a heat race format, so we narrow the field down to just a smaller field, but should put on a good show nonetheless. And then we'll kick off the season just after that at the Charlotte Oval with our 2025 A Series opener. That'll be a 10-race regular season, 4-race early round for the playoffs, and a finale at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Top 4 cars straight up on points. Top finisher of those 4 gonna be your 2025 A champion. So shout out to Rev Limit Workshop and Pit Pass Network for coming on board to present the 2025 A Development Series. We'll release more news on this one in the coming weeks, but glad to announce the series will remain free for all Pit Pass Network ARCA Series drivers of this season and those that come in for the next one as well. So anyone eligible, this will remain a free series, and a darn good one at that. Every race broadcasted, every race covered for you right here on the Elite Racing Network. So coming back to the green flag here momentarily, Thomas Coonan, a Leighton Norgard, Hunter Smith, Corey Abbott, Gavin Higgins, Trey Holmes, Mike DeWalt, Connor Thompson, Jaden Racimus, Dustin Dewar. That's your top 10. And speaking of Dewar, we're going to do it right here as we get set to go green once again. Green flags out. We're back underway here at Charlotte. Out front, Thomas Coonan back on that loud pedal. He's going to kick butt here and pull away from a Leighton Norgard on this restart. Corey Abbott holding on to third. Top 3 are either Abbott Motorsports cars or Abbott Motorsports affiliates, with Thomas Coonan, the Mountain Man Motorsports driver. But one to watch, he's coming on the scene really, really fast here. That's Trey Holmes, driver of that number 48 machine. Oh no. Brent Jones, David Huckleberry, they've come together. Green flag stays out, but we'll take a look and see what just happened here between Brent Jones and Dave Huckleberry. Oh no. Oh man, yellow flag's out as well, so something just happened on the racetrack. Looks like Huck gonna get up into the outside wall, and Brent gonna move into the rear end of the 52 machine, as you'll see happen here down the back straightaway. Watch 52. Oh no, that was rough. That was rough. Incident between Michael Menchaca and Brian Carrington gonna bring out the caution here. Well. We'll back that one up. Watching the 72 of Michael Menchaca, the Street Limit Racing driver. He's just going to go around off the nose of Bojo. But Menchaca comes down a couple lanes there, almost gets into the back of Rabilas, slides up, gets a Nabnet, collects the 13 of Brian Carrington as well. I believe that's... I'm not sure who that was. Somebody else just got collected in that one as well. But Carrington absolutely destroyed up on the high side. That's going to bring out the caution flag once again here. Third caution of the day. Working lap number 38 of 90. We'll step away real quick. When we come back, we'll pay some more bills and make sure that we can continue to stay on the air with some happy partners here on the Elite Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, currently approaching the halfway point. Thomas Coonan leads the way in the 05. Leighton Norgard second. Corey Abbott in third. Hunter Smith fourth. Trey Holmes in the fifth spot. Mike DeWalt in sixth in the DeWalt number 17. Gavin Higgins in seventh. Jaden Racimus eighth. Kyle Hanshaw up to the 9th spot. Great drive so far by Hanshaw. Connor Thompson 10th. 11th is Dustin Dewar. 12th, Andrew Hardcastle. 13th, Jet Story. 14th is Dustin Haynes. Good drive by my fellow Canadian Jeff Ryan. 15th. Mark Robilis up to 16th. Ray Bracey recovering to 17th. Dan Martinez 18th. Mitch Avere 19th. And his teammate Frank Foti in 20th. Hosek in 21st, Tommy Ryan 22nd, Jay Connor 23rd, Dave Carpenter 24th, Dominic Wright in 25th, Austin and Abnett 26th, Darren Staff rather beat up in 27th, Brent Jones in 28th, Dave Huckleberry rounds out the active cars in 29th. Both Shea Mitchell and Jeff Green have retired. Michael Mancheka, Brian Carrington, David Woods, David Westergreen, all on pit road. Coming back to the green flag here once again. Like I said, quickly approaching the halfway point in this one. Shout out to all of you currently tuned in. We couldn't do these broadcasts without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, thank you to our great partners. We'll touch a little bit more on the rest of them shortly as we get set to go green. Coming off of 4, pace cars off. Coonan gonna set off as well as we're back under green. Thomas Coonan on the loud pedal. Leighton Norgard there in second. Hunter Smith clears to third. Well, no, he doesn't clear. As Abbott gonna battle back down on the inside of him. Side by side, third and fourth. Smith in fourth. Abbott third. Trey Holmes closing in that 5th spot as we watch the field work their way down the back straightaway. Looking a little bit further back, Connor Thompson battling it out with Dustin Haynes and Jess Story. We'll try to get a word here over the next little while with a couple more of these drivers if the opportunity does present itself. But of course, we got a nice opening run, which allowed us really to spread our wings a bit and get some laps in the books here. These guys so far this season have done a nice job as Rabilas into the outside wall. Mark gonna gather it back up just ahead of the 23 of Tommy Ryan, as looks like Michael Menchaca gonna leave pit road in the street limit number 72 and rejoin the pack. Watching Jaden Racimus battling it out with Trey Holmes. That's for the 5th position. Racimus, one of those guys that, again, you know, I mention this each and every time we talk about the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. There's certain guys that you can really tell have gotten a lot out of this series, and that's why it was so paramount that it did continue season after season. Jaden Racimus, one of those that we've really seen improvement from. Connor Thompson as well. Gavin Higgins, I think, is one of the biggest of that group, and I'm going to throw this guy in here. I don't know if he would credit this. Oh, well, maybe I won't throw him in there. Corey Abbott going to go around off of turn number 2. Nails it in the inside wall down the backstretch, but able to gather it back up. We will stay green here as we take a look on the Mark J. Rabilas replay machine. Looks like Corey Abbott, yeah, you can just see the rear end kick out on him. Hunter Smith does a really nice job avoiding Corey. He nails the inside wall, but not as massively as it could have been. So luckily for Abbott, able to gather it back up, does continue on. Gonna have to recover here, but nonetheless still okay. As we see some battles all throughout the field, the biggest battle is going to be that top spot where Thomas Coonan and Leighton Norgard duking it out for 1 and 2. Trey Holmes now up to 3rd. Again, I've mentioned this a couple times. Keep an eye on that number 48 car. Anytime Trey Holmes is on the racetrack, especially one where tire wear might come into play, Trey Holmes is going to be a guy to watch. He can't save tires as good as I can. Let me just make that clear. I think I could definitely save tires probably better than anybody. No, that's very false. It's very false, and you can tell doing this solo got to make some very bad jokes. As looks like we got a battle here, Jeff Ryan and Andrew Hardcastle. Now, speaking of which, Andrew Hardcastle, as you might be able to see there, let's see if we can get a better look at his car. I do want to point this one out. It's definitely one that does mean a lot. You see Johnny Goudreau on the hood of that car. Both Johnny and Matthew Goudreau unfortunately killed in a incident with a drunk driver earlier this week, or actually last week. And Johnny, a player for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Matthew, a former professional hockey league player as well, and now was a coach at his local high school. Unfortunately, both of those individuals dead at 30 and 31 respectively. Again, never drink and drive, and if you can, make a donation to the Columbus Blue Jackets Foundation on behalf of the Goudreaus, or Andrew Hardcastle as well, who is promoting that here tonight. I believe Shane Mitchell was the other one promoting that this evening as well. But our condolences to the Goudreaus and credit to Andrew Hardcastle running that memorial scheme here tonight. A very beautiful number 22. We'll take a moment here, look at this battle. Jay Connor, Connor Thompson, Dustin Dewar, and the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw right there. And, well, we can just keep climbing forward. Jaden Racimus, Hunter Smith, just up there. Mike DeWalt, Gavin Higgins. Then they have a little bit of a gap to Trey Holmes, who's chasing down the Leighton Norgard, who almost gave the bumper to Thomas Coonan. So some good battles up here just past that halfway point as we're going to watch these guys fly on by very quick up there by that start finish line as Norgard takes a look now to the inside of Kunin, nearly contact in that battle for the top spot. Norgard trying to hold it on the bottom. You can see a bit of a wiggle, bit of a jiggle out of that number 12 machine as he looks to the inside once again of the FTN Rev Limit Workshop 05 of Thomas Kunin. Yeah, actually, there we go. Thank you, Shay. It was Brian Carrington, the other driver, carrying a memorial to Johnny and Matthew Goudreau. I thought it was really cool that there was a GoFundMe for Matthew's family, his wife, and their soon-to-be-born baby. And they had a goal of 30,000, and I'm not sure if it has passed it as of yet, but was very quickly approaching the $500,000 mark. And so many of those donations were courtesy of Professional Hockey League players, and a lot of them ended in 13, which of course was Johnny Goudreau's number. I saw the likes of Matt Duchesne on there, Artemi Panarin, a bunch of other guys, Cam Atkinson on there as well. Rick Nash, I believe, made a donation, and a big donation 2 days ago was from the former pro team, I believe it was the Worcester Railers, that Matthew Goudreau finished his career for, a $10,000 donation from the team owner. So pretty cool to see everyone coming together in such a dark time in the sport. So back up front, Kunin starting to pull away a bit from Norgard. So that's going to give us an opportunity to dig a little bit further into the field. And that's actually where pit stops are kicking off here with the Ronster Raps number 71 of Dave Carpenter. He's going to take a pit side. Let's see Corey Abbott here. His car does not look bad. So if he gets another caution, Corey Abbott should definitely have an opportunity to get back up there and battle it out, as we'll go to another battle here. Kyle Hanshaw, Dustin Haynes. It's Haynes on the high side, Hanshaw on the bottom. That's Jess Story, Tommy Ryan, Andrew Hardcastle, and Jeff Ryan up here as well. It's Jeff to the back end of the Andrew Hardcastle machine. As Dustin Haynes gets a little bit sideways right there. Slipped in the syrup as he worked his way down to the bottom just ahead of Jess Story. Is Story going to battle back on the high side? Those guys are door to door. You could hardly put anything between those two guys as they duke it out down the backstretch. Kyle Hanshaw going to slot in ahead of Andrew Hardcastle. As looks like we got a couple of movers, couple of shakers here. Mike DeWalt and Gavin Higgins battling it out here. DeWalt up to the back end of the Higgins machine, coming to 30 to go here very shortly. So I would anticipate the possibility of another pit stop coming up over this next little while, as we got Trey Holmes going to the high side there of, I believe that to be Brent Jones. Yes, it is Brent Jones falling back in the 89. Unfortunately, damage for Mr. Jones, courtesy of the earlier incident where he was an innocent bystander. As we watch this battle, Dan Martinez, Dustin Doer, Jaden Racimus absolutely decided to full send it in there just a moment ago. So we're going to go 3 wide here briefly down the back straight away. Dan Martinez was the center of that cinnamon roll right there. Brent Jones down on the bottom, as Dave Huckleberry going to get by Dave Carpenter for position number 28. Huck now +1 on the day. Working your way forward, Dave. Good job, my friend. Good job. Another announcement to make regarding 2025A. We made it over in Discord earlier on. Jesse Racimus has agreed to come back as our race controller next season. Very grateful for him doing that. Dave Huckleberry has officially joined the admin team of the development series, as well as Frank Foti slides up nearly into the side of Ray Bracey. We're also going to have 2 double headers next season. I've had a couple people want to kill me already, but our season will open up with a doubleheader of the Charlotte Oval and the Charlotte Roval, with the official season opener kicking off on November the 19th of 2024. This will allow us to have another fun series in March and beyond here in Elite, and then we'll come back later on with our fall season of the development series as well. So we'll go Charlotte Oval and Roval for the doubleheader to kick off. Then we'll go to Atlanta for race number 3, round 2, I guess. Michigan, race 4. Watkins Glen will be a 60-minute race as round 5. Then we'll do another doubleheader as well. Let's take a look at this one. Frank Fody, he broke. He done did break right there. The 41 of Franklin Fody with issues. He's going to take it pit side and to the attention of the Lake Norman Motorsports crew. So Watkins Glen will be... There we go. Ethan Burrell giving us an update here. Leaders reporting that they are good to go. Thanks, Trey Holmes, for that update. I'm very much sure of that. As a Leighton Norgard giving the boot scooting boogie to the rear end of that 05 of Thomas Coonan as they duke it out here through turns number 3 and 4. Lap 64 on the board. So as I was mentioning, we're going to do a 60-minute timed race at Watkins Glen as round 5 of the season. Then we'll do a doubleheader at Oswego, where we'll race both the asphalt and the dirt as our final race of 2024 before we head into a Christmas break. We'll come back with Iowa, Kansas, and Daytona to end the regular season. Then playoffs will kick off at Legacy Phoenix. Then we'll take it north of the border to my home track, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, for another 60-minute race. But this one will be just after breakfast at sunrise. Then we'll head to a night race at Bristol and an afternoon race at Talladega to end round 1 of the playoffs. Then we'll head to the finale, which will take place under the lights of the Homestead Miami Speedway. Top 4 in points after that 4-race playoff will go head to head to head to head. And the top finisher in that race at Homestead will be your 2025A Rev Limit Workshop, presented by Pit Pass Network Development Series champion. One guy that's really closing in up here is Trey Holmes. I want to do a lap on board here with Trey. We'll have the sights and sounds behind the wheel of the number 48 machine next time they go by that start-finish line as the field works their way into turn number 3 and 4. This time Holmes currently in that 3rd spot. He's got a hard battle ahead of him between Leighton Norgard and Thomas Kuhn as they come off of 4 to the start-finish line. Let's go on board with Trey Holmes. Three-car battle for the top spot is on. Norgard slides up into the side of Coonan. Here comes Trey Holmes. 22 laps to go. It's Holmes up there with Coonan and Norgard, the top 3 all together. Top 2 separated by 1/100th of a second as Coonan fights back on the high side. Norgard down on the bottom. Wheel to wheel at the start-finish line. Trey Holmes, he's been waiting in the wings. He's ready to pounce as he goes to the inside. Here comes Trey. Uno, dos, Trey, as they battle it out for the top spot. Holmes in the middle, going to go to second. Norgard has the top spot. Norgard up against the outside wall. Coonan to the top side as well. Holmes down on the inside. They've got about a second of a gap over Gavin Higgins as Higgins holds on to fourth. Here comes Holmes down to the inside of Norgard. Norgard in the top spot up on the high side as they come here into turn number 1 this time. It's 20 laps to go. And new leader, it's Trey Holmes. Wow, what a drive by Trey Holmes. But here comes Norgard, not letting him get away too easily as the Tanks.GG number 12 machine battles back down on the inside. Still battling door to door, wheel to wheel, side by side for the top spot, as Holmes, I believe, will have the advantage at the start finish line. Yes, he will. Not by much, though. 19 laps to go. Holmes, Norgard, Coonan all together. Gavin Higgins, he might be in the best spot right now if these guys have any sort of mistake. You see Coonan back out of it a little bit there. Got to wonder if potentially the tires have gone away on him, or he's anticipating some sort of madness between Holmes and Norgard, who continue to duke it out rather tight for that top spot. Absolutely phenomenal here for both Holmes and Norgard at the front of the field. We've seen some great battles all throughout, mostly between Norgard and Coonan, but now that Trey Holmes has gotten up here, he's really put himself in position to take that top spot on the step here tonight. Maybe get himself another victory in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. As we saw Gavin Higgins there trying to close in just a little bit. He's pulled away about 0.8 of a second over Hunter Smith. Smith back there in 5th. Connor just behind him. Mike DeWalt right there as well. Here comes Tommy Ryan. Tommy's had a great recovery here tonight, and actually just a great race in general. Started dead last in 35th. Currently runs in 8th, up 27 positions. Trey Holmes has worked his way up through the field as well, up 18 spots. Started 19th. I also did mention that he's very good at saving tires, and well, he's gotten here at the end of the long run. So maybe I know what I'm talking about sometimes, I guess. What do you think, Kurt? You see old Kurt hanging out over there in the YouTube chat. It says, go Trey, as Trey Holmes does lead the way. We'll see if we got any other battles going on throughout the field, and it looks like we do. Andrew Hardcastle and Jaden Racimus battling it out for 12th and 13th. Hardcastle up 11 spots. Racimus down 4, but doing a nice job just outside the top 10. Don't know if we'll have the updated points right away before we go off the air today. That will depend on how quickly Chad Frankenfield is able to get them in the system, and then we'll know who will advance to the 2024 B playoffs here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. PitPassNetwork.com, your home for all things motorsports with news, reviews, and interviews. Check out PitPassNetwork.com today. Speaking of checking out today, that's what Trey Holmes and Leighton Norgard have done. They've checked out. Thomas Coonan now falling back about 0.2 of a second ahead of Gavin Higgins, as Higgins holds on to the 4th spot. Hunter Smith there in 5th. Somebody just had an issue. Not sure who that was. Somebody went off the racetrack. But we have stayed green, so we are okay, and we will be able to battle it out here hopefully towards the end. As Holmes and Norgard going to get by Austin and Abnett, and Abnett going to go 1 lap down. He holds on to the 24th position, as Dave Huckleberry just had an off-track moment, and actually no, he doesn't. What Dave Huckleberry did right there is he pulled over, got out of the way from the leaders to make sure that he was not involved in anything that could change the outcome of this race. So credit to Dave Huckleberry, one of the newest drivers on iRacing, honestly, in this league. Pulls over, does the nice thing, lets the leaders battle it out, as we battle it out here between Thomas Coonan and Gavin Higgins. That's for 3rd and 4th. Coonan currently has it. Higgins wants it down on the inside. Bit of door contact there. Higgins going to get on by Coonan. Coonan back to 4th now, as he's going to slot in there. Brent Jones going to hit pit road, as will Franklin Fody. So Fody taking a visit to the pit lane in the number 41 machine. Actually, it looks like he may have had a connection issue and is rejoining as we're side by side for the top spot again. Norgard going to take it. Holmes going to fall back to second. So a swap of position between the Tanks.GG and Lowe's machines out front here as they currently still battle it out for that top spot. Norgard down the back stretch. Holmes just behind him. Corey Abbott going to gain a spot towards the rear of the field. Gets by Dominic Wright. Something tells me Corey going to be rather frustrated after this one. And of course, folks, anything can still happen here, including Hunter Smith getting the 4th position here from Thomas Coonan. But anything can happen in this closing run that could potentially throw a wrench into things. All it takes is one little spin of too much degree, and the yellow flag could wave, leading to some mixed pit strategies. Could see 4, could see 2, could see staying out on the racetrack and going for a loop. We've seen it all in the past, and if that happens tonight, would not shock me if we see it again. So with 9 to go, we're going to keep our focus on the battle for the race lead as Trey Holmes really tries to close in here on a late Norgard. Norgard comes off of turn number 2 this time. That's Dustin Haynes just up the road. The number 3 machine going to be the next one to go a lap down. That is the Street Limit Racing number 3 of Dustin Haynes, one of my fellow Canadians in the field here tonight, as we'll go high above and watch this battle for the top spot as Holmes going to try to look for any opportunity he could possibly get to get by Norgard, but I don't think he's going to be in too much of a rush here with 8 laps to go to make that pass. He knows he has the time. He doesn't necessarily need to make the pass right away, as quickly we'll just jump back here to this battle for 3rd. Hunter Smith to the inside of Gavin Higgins. Higgins in the 4th spot. Smith looking to take the 3rd spot now from Higgins, but Higgins really battling back up there on the high side. The outside lane really gives these guys a nice run, and that's what Gavin Higgins has really taken advantage of, is Trey Holmes and Elite Norgard going to get by Dustin Haynes. Norgard slides up, opens up the inside here for Trey Holmes. Holmes going to look for the opportunity to potentially get by and take that top spot. Shout out to all 131 of you that have joined us here this evening for coverage of the Charlotte 135 in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Once again, just going to quickly throw this on the screen here. Rev Limit Workshop Development Series presented by Pit Pass Network, coming again next season here on the Elite Racing Network Tuesday nights, and it all kicks off in early November of this upcoming, or of this current year actually, so really only 2 months away from kicking that one off. Norgard has cleared Holmes now. Holmes falling back into the clutches of Gavin Higgins as they take 5 laps to go. Coming down to the tail end of this one. It's been a good race tonight. It honestly has. Even if we were to get a caution to come out here in these next couple of laps, it would still go down as one of the races of all time here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. But honestly, no, these guys have done a great job here tonight as we take a look at Tommy Ryan and Thomas Coonan. They just cleared Dustin. Oh, big hit to the outside wall for Mike DeWalt in the 17 machine. He might need the big DeWalt saw to clean up the side of that one. Unfortunate hit there for him. Hey, shout out to Dan Martinez, guys. He fell back really early on. Unfortunately, got caught in an incident. The big incident at the start of the race, I believe it was lap number 2, now finds himself back up inside the top 10. So great drive by him as we see the battle for 3rd. Gavin Higgins cleared to 2nd, by the way. Hunter Smith trying to get by Trey Holmes. Holmes holding on to 4th. Smith in 3rd. They're going to catch Darren Staff here momentarily. Staff, one of those guys that is not currently on the lead lap, 3 laps down. Kevin Higgins to the inside of Darren Staff. Oh, Trey Holmes, he's going to get picked off there. Hunter Smith going to get by. He's going to move to third. Holmes back to fourth. Connor in fifth as Holmes slides up nearly into the side of the Darren Stapp machine. Jay Connor to the back end of Trey Holmes as we just took popsicle sticks that time. 2 flags up, 2 laps to go for a Leighton Norgard. What's up, Ethan? Ethan Burrell hanging out over there. Multi-time champion here in the Elite Racing League. Probably going to pick up another one this season once again. Not sure what series, but Burrell, one of the best nonetheless, as we come off of turn number 4 this time. Down to Barney the Flagman. That green flag is gone white, baby. 1 lap to go here at Charlotte as a Leighton Norgard going to lead the way. Next flag will end at white flag, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Check them out for all your sim cam needs. Andrew Cardinale and his team going to take care of you very, very nicely. As we follow a Leighton Norgard here, he's going to work his way through turns number 3 and 4 for the final time as he comes off of turn number 4. Checkered flag. It's a Leighton Norgard picking up the victory once again. Gavin Higgins really closed the gap at the end, comes home second. Hunter Smith going to bring it home third. Jay Connor fourth. Trey Holmes fifth. Thomas Coonan going to wrap it up in 6th. Tommy Ryan 7th. Jess Story, well, that's a good story there, coming home in 8th. Dan Martinez 9th. Mike DeWalt going to round out the top 10. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through the results and we'll talk to your podium finishers right after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Flames will burn and sparks will fly at the NHRA Midwest Nationals, September 27th through 29th at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Kickoff race weekend in style with 2 qualifying sessions in 1 day, plus the can't-miss show of Nitro Under the Lights on Friday, September 27th. Get tickets at WWTRaceway.com with kids 12 and under free and general admission. The NHRA Midwest Nationals, September 27th through 29th at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here at Charlotte, just about to catch up with our podium finishers. Looks like first up going to be Gavin Higgins, our runner-up here this evening. Let's see if we got a copy from Gavin. Hey, Gavin, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Another solid run out of that number 20 machine tonight. What is it about this second half of the season that's really put some rhythm in your favor?
I honestly really don't know, just practicing. That's about it, all I can say. Staying out of stuff, staying clean. That's about it.
You were one of those quiet guys tonight, worked your way up 13 positions, started back in the 15th spot, came home second. Walk us through your race here this evening and maybe tell us some of the challenges that you faced here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, there's that big checkup, and I think it was lap 1 or 2. There's a lot of cars got into it, and then, just saving tires, people burning their stuff up, getting through traffic, the lap cars. I wish there was maybe like 5 more 10 laps. Could have got closer too late and could have made it close, but yeah.
Now, looking ahead, obviously, this was the regular season finale tonight. We're going to head to the Talladega Super Speedway next week. What's your outlook for that one? Do you think you can maybe kick off the playoffs with a bang?
Gonna be a Hail Mary, just gotta stay out of stuff, and I'll probably sit in the back most of the race and stay out of trouble if it comes to fuel situations, talk with Jaden Racimus. Hopefully Brandon will be here to see what we have, but yeah.
Well, the floor is now yours, Gavin. Any shout-outs you want to give, sponsors you want to thank, guys that support you each and every week?
No sponsors, but mom, dad, sister, brother watching upstairs. Jay for racing, Jaden Racimas. Brandon couldn't make it tonight. Grandparents, neighbor Pete.
Shout out to neighbor Pete. That's my favorite shout out every week now, Gavin. So glad neighbor Pete could join us, and congratulations on another solid run here tonight.
All right, thanks.
That was Gavin Higgins, your runner up here this evening. Now we're going to talk to a guy that, well, the trophy hunter, Leighton Norgard. Congratulations, buddy. Another victory here this evening. Walk us through your race and how'd you get it done?
Hey, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I was just trying to stay up at the front as much as I could. The biggest thing in my strategy was just holding on to my tires as much as I could while still using them so I didn't waste any. But yeah, there were people that were faster than me at various points through the stint, but I always managed to come back and get back around them. And that was just really kind of what it came down to, I guess. There's definitely some good racing up there. A lot of props to Thomas and Trey. It was a lot of fun.
Now, obviously, coming into tonight, you were 21 points behind Gavin Higgins for that regular season championship. Looks like he was able to lock it up with that second place finish. But what does this third victory of the season do for your momentum heading into the playoffs that kick off next week at one of those wild card tracks that is the Talladega Superspeedway?
I think it puts me in a pretty good place. Of course, you never know what's going to happen at Talladega, but after that, there are there's some pretty sketchy tracks. Dover and Bristol will be kind of scary, but Kansas should be promising. I mean, of the 3 intermediates, mile and a halves that we've run this season, I've won them. So fingers crossed that I can continue that through the rest of the season.
Well, we definitely do hope that, and I believe, I'll have to double check, Leighton, but I believe tonight's victory may have just reached your graduation point at the end of the season from the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. You might have hit that 5 victory threshold. We'll have to check for sure, but nonetheless, does that make it that much more important for you to pick up the championship this season?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm ever going to have anything over Ethan Stanley, it'll have to be winning ARCA when he couldn't get that championship before he was out. So that's definitely my goal. I had that in the back of my mind tonight, that if I won, I wasn't going to have another season, but I just don't have it in me to not go for the win. So here we are.
That's right. You always got to go for that W each and every week. Leighton, before we let you go here tonight, any shout-outs you want to give, sponsors you want to thank?
The whole crew at Abbott, Corey, Andrew, Brent, we had Dom running with us tonight. Maybe future teammate Thomas Coonan was running with us tonight. Never know what happened.
We'll see
there.
about that.
But yeah, a lot of fun running with those guys.
Well, congratulations on another victory here tonight, Leighton. And we look forward to seeing you in action tomorrow night at Watkins Glen in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. We might as well ask you now. What's your outlook for that one? Do you think you got a shot at maybe getting yourself a good finish?
You never quite know what's going to happen at a road course in the Cup car. I'm hoping for a top 10. That's my goal. We'll see how it goes.
Well, congratulations on the victory once again, and we'll see you back in action in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series next week at Talladega.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to it.
That was Leighton Norgard, your winner here tonight. And before we head off for the final time this evening, let's take a look at your final race results. Once again, Norgard picks up the victory. Higgins and Smith round out the podium. Unfortunately, Hunter Smith not able to join us for a post-race interview. Jay Connor, Trey Holmes round out the top 5. Thomas Coonan, Tommy Ryan, Jess Story, Dan Martinez, Mike DeWalt, the top 10. Then it's Hossack, Hardcastle, Dewar, Racimus, and Robilas, the top 15. Jeff Ryan, Hanshaw, Bracey, the top 18 as we roll our way down through the rest of the field. You're going to see where we have Corey Abbott, Mitch Aveer, Connor Thompson, Dominic Wright, Dustin Haynes, Austin Anabnett, Darren Staff, Brent Jones, Dave Huckleberry, Frank Fody, Dave Carpenter, Michael Menchaca, Brian Carrington, David Woods, and the rest of the field, David Westergreen, Shea Mitchell, and Jeff Green. Once again, want to thank pitpassnetwork.com for being our presenting partner of the series this evening. Looking forward to kicking it off with Rev Limit Workshop next season. And of course, shout out Whiplash SimCam, Blue Egg Marketing, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and 4D Racewear for being our great premier partners here at the Elite Racing League. Thanks to Chad Frankfield, Jesse Racimus, Dave Huckleberry, everyone behind the scenes that puts this on each and every week. And we'll see you tomorrow night, Belly Up Cup Series, Watkins Glen. We'll see you there.